Hello, I. Hello, I. I want to speak about justified anger, okay? As an emotion, how it affects your energy field, and why people feel so passionately about it. And I'm not saying that anger doesn't, there's not situations where, anger is very much a healthy emotion to feel, right? But there's this anger that we have in regards to people that we believe are sinful or bad or evil. For instance, when you see a video go viral because a rapist has been sexually abused, molested and raped himself, and all these beaten up to death, etc., or to near point death, and people be in the comments yes, they deserve it, blah blah blah, of course they should die, all of this stuff, and they feel so justified and they feel above the person that they believe is committing the sin, right? And I've always looked at it from a point of view where it's me personally, when I'm watching those videos, I feel awful. I feel awful for the person that's done it. I feel also awful for the people that are also beating the person up. And other people most of the other people around me have always found it very strange initially that I'm just so more compassionate towards people that have apparently committed this atrocious crimes, right? But for me, it's just always been, well, not always, but especially since really awakening spiritually, it's just seemed like the normal thing to do. I'm not a Bible thumper or anything like that of this such yet, but for me it's a thing like this, yeah. Just because somebody has done bad, especially, I'm not trying to be funny, yeah, they didn't do harm to you, and I'm not saying that's justified in any way or anything like that, but especially when there's been no direct harm to you or your family or whatever, how can you feel so angry? How can you feel such boiling hate to the fact that you would even encourage this kind of behavior where people, go out and actively look for pedophiles and, embarrass them, shame them, or brutally forget even, okay, shaming them, whatever, that's a bit more light work, but people that actively go out there and hunt down these people and kill them or beat them up or all of this stuff, or want to rape them back, and all in my head it's I don't have that anger for you, I don't have that anger for you. That anger does not exist within me, because if you're able to portray that anger, and that's what people forget, because people are so busy judging other people and their actions that they're forgetting, okay, if I'm moving like this and I'm moving with all this erraticness and I'm moving with all this anger and hate within me towards the other person, where is the anger and hate coming from, That's coming from within. So that means that's already within you, Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, I just don't have that level of hate. And you might be oh, well, you've not gone through it or did it, bro. I was sexually abused by my own family member, okay? My own family, for God's sake. So maybe that helps, and that's a bit more, I don't know, because I've had to forgive someone so close to me, even though they've never admitted to it, even though, that's the thing as well. It's not like I got my closure, or that's another thing. Closure don't exist, I has to give closure to myself. Okay, so you waiting on other people to tell you how sorry they are for hurting you and all of this stuff. Sometimes you will never get it, But what about yourself? Are you not worthy of just letting go? And people feel like letting go is this major thing, no, then that person has violated me. That person has violated. You think I'm going to let them get away with a violation? And I remember when I was like that as well. That's another thing. Violations. Oh, somebody's violated, somebody's disrespected you, got to get them back. And I'm not saying that I'm a type of person to, take something down line on the cheek, but darling, before it could be petty things, a minor thing, and I'm feeling like I've got to one-up you. But now I'm too happy and blessed for that shit. Maybe you're having a bad day. Unless you catch me on a bad day myself, but more time, 95% of the time, I'm really not that pressed. I'm just really not that pressed, I'm so happy. I'm so grateful and living my life and just feel so blessed. And I understand truly and deeply that hurt people. I know that for a fact, No one healthy, no one sane, no one normal would be a pedophile. No one healthy, no one normal would murder, or unless they're in a mad situation. Do you get what I mean? There's always something. These things don't just happen out of the thin blue air. People aren't born inherently evil. So as long as, and remember, I is I. I is nothing but a reflection of I. So wherever I is standing right there, wherever I is standing, that is clearly where I is standing too. I cannot be so far above from the other I's around I. Does that make sense? Okay? So if I'm high, holier and mighty than thou, all right, but people around me are still behaving accordingly, I cannot separate myself from I, because I is one. I is I. Okay? So we're only as good as each other. All right, so just if some of us are really, really good and others are, have our ways and tendencies, then we still have a lot of work to do. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? We're all one. We're all one in this. So for us to just be out here pinpointing and fingering and having this proper justified, bro, you're justified for your anger, but I all it's doing is bringing more hate and bringing more bad vibes and energy into your life. If you've noticed, people that aren't forgiving always have shit not to forgive people about. Am I telling lies? Okay? Like those people that always like Aggie and all of that stuff, always beefing people, whatever. Don't they always have beef? Happy people, go lucky people, kind people, whatever. Aren't they always good? And it annoys other people, right? It annoys because it's just like, what it's like, I create our reality. Never forget that I create our reality. There is nothing that requires you, to be so vengeful, so malicious, yeah? Because at the end of the day, Anna, the way I see it is this: if you was really, really happy and truly content in your life, you wouldn't want to harm anyone, you wouldn't want to harm yourself either, I believe good in all people. I don't care what anyone says. I believe there is good in all people, and I believe the way they try to segregate us and separate us and all of this stuff, I see it, I see it in the things that they promote, especially in terms of algorithms and all of this stuff. You always see things that are being promoted that is for one side or against the other. Do you get what I mean? And those are the things that blow I. But don't let them trick you. Don't let them fool you, I. There is no, bro, having anger is heavy. Okay? So if you've got that negative emotion, and even it doesn't matter if you're outwardly portraying it to somebody else, it's already come from within you, I. Okay? So no matter how much anger you feel for somebody else, it's always a reflection of where I is currently standing, whereas I currently in our place. So you are just projecting it outwards instead of going within and finding out, what am I really angry about? But yeah, stay happy, stay blessed, I.